It's so good to have you here today. I believe God has something special in store for you. You're not here by accident. You're here on purpose, for a purpose. And I want to remind you, no matter what's going on in the world around you, no matter who's pushing your buttons, you have the power to be a peacemaker. It's easy to live upset, frustrated, and offended. Somebody did you wrong. A coworker left you out. A friend said something hurtful. Before you know it, you're carrying that weight around, letting it steal your joy, rob your peace. But can I tell you, God didn't create you to live in constant conflict. He didn't call you to be easily offended, always in a battle. He called you to be a peacemaker. When you choose peace, you're choosing strength. When you walk away from the drama, when you let go of that grudge, when you decide, I'm not going to let that comment ruin my day, you're showing who you really are, a child of the Most High. Being a peacemaker doesn't mean you let people walk all over you. It means you refuse to let negativity control you. It means you choose wisdom over impulse, love over hate, and peace over chaos. And when you do that, you'll find that doors open, relationships flourish, and favor follows you wherever you go. I don't know what situation you're facing today, but I do know this. When you choose peace, you choose power. So take a deep breath, let go of the offense, and walk in the confidence that God is fighting your battles. Be a peacemaker and watch how He leads you into greater blessings than you ever imagined. We live in a world where conflict seems unavoidable. Turn on the news, scroll through social media, or listen to conversations around you, and you'll find division everywhere. People are arguing over politics. Relationships are breaking apart over misunderstandings, and workplaces are filled with tension. It's easy to think that the louder we are, the more powerful we become. But real strength isn't found in fighting every battle. It's not in proving a point, winning an argument, or making sure others know we're right. Real strength is in the person who knows how to stay calm when others are losing their temper. It's in the one who knows how to hold their tongue instead of speaking out of anger. When you walk into a room, you carry a certain atmosphere with you. Some people bring tension. The moment they step in, everyone gets on edge because they know drama follows them. Others bring joy. Just being around them makes you feel lighter. Then there are those who bring peace. These are the ones who make others feel safe. They don't engage in gossip. They don't react to every offense. They have a steady presence, and people are drawn to them. That's the kind of person we're called to be. Have you ever been around someone who just exudes peace? They may not say much, but their very presence changes the environment. They don't get worked up over small things. They don't waste their energy on unnecessary arguments. Even when challenges come, that reassures those around them. That's not a weakness, that's strength. It takes maturity to stay composed when others are losing control. It takes wisdom to know which battles are worth fighting and which ones you need to walk away from. Some people think peace is passive. They assume that if you're not arguing, if you're not getting involved in every debate, then you're weak. But the opposite is true. It takes great strength to hold your peace when everything in you wants to react. It takes self-control to not fire back when someone is rude. It takes discipline to keep your emotions in check when others are letting theirs run wild. Anyone can lose their temper. Anyone can lash out. But the strong are those who remain steady even in the midst of chaos. Think about a river. A small, shallow stream is easily disturbed. Throw a rock in and you'll see ripples all over the surface. But a deep river, it keeps moving. It doesn't let every little disturbance affect its course. That's how we're meant to be. If we're easily shaken, if every little offense throws us off, then we're living at the surface level. But when we cultivate inner peace, when we deepen our roots in faith, in love, and in wisdom, we become unshakable. We're not moved by the little things. We keep flowing in the right direction. Maybe you have people in your life who seem determined to stir up conflict. No matter how kind you are, they find a way to criticize. No matter how much you try to keep the peace, they want to argue. The truth is, some people thrive on chaos. They don't know how to live without drama. But that doesn't mean you have to engage. You don't have to engage in having to organize. Just because someone throws a stone doesn't mean you have to pick it up. Sometimes the greatest power you can show is to simply walk away. This doesn't mean ignoring problems or avoiding necessary conversations. There will be times when you need to stand up for yourself, when you need to address issues. But there's a difference between handling things with wisdom and getting caught up in unnecessary conflict. There's a way to have difficult conversations while still maintaining your peace. It's about your approach. Are you speaking from a place of calm, or are you letting emotions dictate your response? Are you focused on resolution, or are you more concerned with proving your point? True power is knowing that you don't have to prove yourself to everyone. Not every negative comment needs a response. Not every disagreement needs to turn into an argument. You can disagree with someone and still walk away in peace. You can let someone else have the last word without feeling like you've lost. You can choose to be the bigger person, not because you're weak, but because you're strong enough to let it go. When you live this way, you'll find that peace follows you. Your home will be peaceful. Your relationships will be healthier. Even your workplace will feel different because you're not adding to the negativity. People will notice. They'll see that while others are stressed and frustrated, you're steady. While others are caught up in arguments, you're calm. And that kind of peace is contagious. It changes the atmosphere. It opens doors. It brings favor. There's a story about a man who worked in a high-stress corporate job. Everyone around him was constantly on edge. Deadlines were tight, tempers were short, and stress was high. But he remained calm. He didn't get drawn into office drama. He didn't let the pressure break him. One day his boss pulled him aside and said, "I don't know how you do it. Everyone else is overwhelmed, but you always seem at peace." That man had learned a secret. Peace is a choice. It's not based on circumstances. It's not dependent on how others act. It comes from within. You have that same choice every day. You can let the world dictate your emotions, or you can choose to be steady. You can allow others to pull you into conflict, or you can rise above. You can react to everything that comes your way, or you can decide that your peace is too valuable to give away. So today, make the decision to be a person of peace. Let go of the need to argue. Refuse to be drawn into unnecessary drama. Walk with confidence, knowing that real strength is found in a calm and steady spirit. When you do that, you won't just change your life, you'll change the lives of those around you. Life is full of opportunities to get offended. People will say things that hurt. Someone will overlook you, misunderstand you, or treat you unfairly. Maybe a friend betrayed your trust, a coworker took credit for your idea, or a family member criticized you when you needed encouragement. The truth is, offense will come. But how you respond is up to you. You can hold on to it, let it fester, and allow it to weigh you down, or you can make the choice to let it go. Holding on to offense is like carrying a heavy bag everywhere you go. At first, it may not seem like much. A small comment, a little misunderstanding, nothing too serious. But over time, those little things add up. The weight gets heavier. It starts to affect your mood. You're not as joyful as you used to be. You don't laugh as much. The smallest thing irritates you because deep down, you're carrying unresolved offense. And if you're not careful, it will rob you of the peace and joy that belong to you. One of the biggest misconceptions is that letting go of offense means what the other person did was okay. It's not true. Forgiving and releasing offense isn't about saying they were right. It's about freeing yourself. When you hold on to offense, the only person you're hurting is yourself. The other person might not even be thinking about it, but you're the one losing sleep over it. You're the one replaying the conversation in your mind. You're the one letting it affect your happiness. There's a story of two monks who were walking along a path when they came across a woman struggling to cross a river. One of the monks immediately picked her up and carried her to the other side. The woman didn't even thank him. She just walked away. Hours later, as they continued their journey, the second monk finally said, "I can't believe she didn't even say thank you." After all that effort, she just walked away like it was nothing. The first monk turned to him and said, I put her down hours ago, but you're still carrying her. That's what offense does. It makes you carry things that should have been left behind. Some people are still holding on to words spoken over them years ago. They're still replaying what their boss said, what their ex did, what a family member said in a moment of anger. But every day you carry offense, you're giving it power over you. You're allowing it to take up space in your heart that should be filled with peace, love, and joy. Letting go doesn't mean you let people walk all over you. It doesn't mean you tolerate toxic behavior or ignore issues that need to be addressed. But it does mean you don't let negativity take root in your heart. It means you learn to overlook small offenses and not take everything personally. It means choosing to believe the best instead of assuming the worst. People are going to say things without thinking. They'll have bad days. They'll be rude, short-tempered, or distracted. But not everything is about you. Maybe that coworker who snapped at you is struggling with something at home. Maybe the friend who didn't invite you to the event wasn't trying to exclude you. They just didn't think about it. Instead of immediately taking offense, give people grace. Just like you've had bad days. Just like you've made mistakes, others will too. Some offenses are small and can be let go easily. But what about the bigger ones? What about the ones that cut deep, the betrayals that shake your trust, the words that left scars? In those moments, letting go isn't easy, but it's still necessary. You can't move forward while holding on to past wounds. You can't receive new blessings while gripping onto old pain. The longer you hold on, the more it affects you, not just emotionally, but physically. Studies show that holding on to resentment can lead to stress, anxiety, and even health issues. It's not just a spiritual principle, it's a life principle. Some people say, I'll let it go when they apologize. But what if they never do? What if they don't even realize what they did? What if they do realize but don't care? Are you going to let your peace depend on someone else's actions? You have to decide that your peace is too valuable to be held hostage by an apology that may never come. There's a freedom that comes when you make the choice to release offense. When you refuse to let bitterness take root, you step into a life of peace. You stop wasting time replaying old conversations in your mind. You stop trying to prove yourself to people who don't see your worth. You stop looking for validation from those who may never give it. Instead, you walk in confidence knowing that your worth isn't tied to what others say or do. Think about your life right now. Are there offenses you're still holding on to? Are there things that happened years ago that still have a grip on your heart? It's time to release them. Make the decision today to let it go. Not for their sake, but for yours. Not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Every day you have a choice. You can let offense weigh you down, or you can walk in the freedom of letting it go. Choose peace. Choose joy. Choose to live unburdened. Because when you do, you'll find that life is lighter, your relationships are healthier, and your heart is free. Every day we encounter opportunities to bring people together or push them further apart. The words we speak, the way we react, and the attitudes we carry can either build connections or create walls. It's easy to get caught up in disagreements, take sides, or let differences divide us. But the true mark of strength isn't in how well we argue, it's in how well we unite. It's in our ability to be the person who calms tensions instead of stirring them up. Think about the people in your life. There are those who always seem to bring peace, who make conversations lighter, and who create an atmosphere where everyone feels welcome. Then there are those who thrive on conflict, who are quick to criticize, and who seem to enjoy watching people go against each other. The question is, which one are you? Are you the person who brings unity, or do you make it harder for people to connect? Do you help people see the good in each other, or do you magnify their differences? Being a bridge means looking for ways to connect instead of reasons to divide. It means seeing past opinions, past mistakes, past misunderstandings, and choosing to build relationships instead of tearing them down. It's about valuing people over pride, peace over proving a point, and understanding over judgment. It's about recognizing that no one is perfect, and instead of focusing on flaws, we look for common ground. We live in a world where division is everywhere. People argue over politics, lifestyles, and beliefs. Social media has made it easier than ever to criticize from a distance, to take sides, and to spread negativity. But it takes wisdom and maturity to rise above that. It takes strength to be the person who chooses to bring people together when everything around us is pushing us apart. Think about a literal bridge. It spans across gaps, connecting two places that would otherwise be separated. Without it, the journey would be difficult, even impossible. That's what being a bridge does in relationships. It helps people cross over misunderstandings, past hurts, and differences that might keep them apart. It creates a path for connection, for healing, for understanding. But not everyone chooses to be a bridge. Some people choose to be barriers. Instead of bringing people together, they keep them apart. They hold on to grudges. They remind others of past mistakes. They refuse to let go of offenses. They gossip, spread negativity, and make it harder for relationships to heal. Being a barrier doesn't take effort. It's the easy way out. Anyone can tear down relationships. Anyone can divide. But it takes someone with a heart for peace to say, I'm not going to let this difference come between us. I'm going to be the one who brings people together. One of the most powerful things you can do in life is to be a person who mends relationships. Maybe you know two people who had a falling out, and you have the ability to help restore that connection. Maybe you've seen division in your family, and instead of picking sides, you choose to be the voice of reason, reminding everyone of what truly matters. Maybe in your workplace there's tension, but instead of fueling it, you bring a spirit of cooperation and encouragement. Being a bridge doesn't mean you have to agree with everyone. It doesn't mean you compromise your values or pretend that differences don't exist, but it does mean that you choose love over division. It means you don't let disagreements destroy relationships. It means you respect people even when you don't see eye to eye. It means you listen, you seek to understand, and you refuse to let small differences turn into big problems. Some people feel like if they're not arguing, they're not strong. They think that to be heard, they have to be the loudest voice in the room. But real influence doesn't come from volume, it comes from wisdom. The people who truly make an impact aren't the ones who create chaos. They're the ones who bring calm. They're the ones who know how to lower tensions, to bring perspective, to remind others of what's really important. Maybe right now, there's someone in your life you need to make peace with. Maybe there's a relationship that has been strained and you have the opportunity to mend it. Maybe there's a situation where you could choose to bring people together instead of letting them drift apart. Being a bridge starts with a decision. It starts with choosing to let go of pride, to be the bigger person, to make the first move toward reconciliation. It's not always easy. Sometimes the other person may not respond the way you hope. Sometimes people are too stuck in their ways to see the opportunity for peace. But that's not your burden to carry. Your responsibility is to do your part, to choose peace, to be the one who brings people together even if no one else does, to lead by example, to love even when it's difficult, and to show that unity is always greater than division. So today, make the choice. Choose to be a bridge. Choose to build relationships instead of tearing them down. Choose to look for the good in others instead of focusing on differences. Because when you do, you'll not only bring peace to those around you, you'll find that peace follows you as well. Every day, we face situations that test our patience. Someone cuts us off in traffic. A coworker takes credit for our work. A friend says something insensitive. In those moments, it's easy to let frustration take over. It's easy to snap back, to say something harsh, to let anger guide our response. But true strength isn't found in reacting with anger. It's found in responding with love. There's a difference between reacting and responding. Reacting is immediate, emotional, and often regrettable. It comes from a place of frustration, resentment, or hurt. When someone offends us, our first instinct might be to lash out, to put them in their place, to prove a point. But responding is different. Responding requires thought. It takes self-control. It means taking a step back, choosing our words wisely, and approaching the situation with love rather than frustration. Think about a fire. When something sparks it, you have two choices. You can throw water on it to put it out, or you can throw gasoline on it to make it worse. That's what our words and actions do in moments of conflict. We either calm the situation or we escalate it. When we react with anger, we make the fire bigger. But when we respond with love, we bring peace. Some people think responding with love is a sign of weakness, that if they don't stand up for themselves in the heat of the moment, they'll be walked over. But it takes far more strength to stay calm than it does to lose control. Anyone can shout back. Anyone can let anger take over. But the truly strong person is the one who remains steady, who refuses to let their emotions dictate their action. We've all had moments where we've said something in anger and later regretted it. Maybe it was an argument with a spouse, a harsh word to a friend, or a quick response to a stranger. At the time it felt justified, but later we wish we had handled it differently. That's because anger clouds judgment. It makes us say things we don't mean, do things we later regret, and create damage that could have been avoided. Think about a time when someone responded to you with love instead of anger. Maybe you were having a bad day and snapped at someone, but instead of getting defensive, they showed kindness. Maybe you made a mistake at work, but instead of shaming you, your boss chose to encourage you. Those moments stick with us. They teach us that love is more powerful than anger, that grace is more effective than criticism. One of the greatest gifts we can give others is patience. We don't know what battles people are fighting. That person who was rude to you at the grocery store may be dealing with deep personal struggles. That coworker who seemed short-tempered may be overwhelmed with stress. That family member who snapped at you may be carrying pain they haven't spoken about. When we choose love over anger, we extend grace to people who may desperately need it. But responding with love doesn't mean allowing people to treat us poorly. It doesn't mean we ignore problems or never stand up for ourselves. It means we handle conflicts in a way that promotes peace instead of more conflict. It means speaking truth with kindness. It means setting boundaries without resentment. It means addressing issues in a way that builds relationships rather than tearing them apart. There's a story about a man who is known for his calm demeanor. No matter how much pressure he was under, no matter how people treated him, he never raised his voice or reacted in anger. One day, a colleague asked him, "How do you stay so calm? Don't you ever feel like fighting back?" The man smiled and said, "Of course I feel it, but I've learned that when I let anger control me, I lose control of the situation. When I respond with love, I stay in charge." That's the power of love. It keeps us in control. It allows us to walk away from situations with no regrets. It keeps our hearts free from bitterness. It allows us to lead by example, to influence those around us in a positive way. Think about your own life. Are there moments when you've reacted in anger and later wished you had responded differently? Are there relationships that have been strained because words were spoken in frustration? It's never too late to change. You can't undo the past, but you can make a new choice today. You can choose to be more patient. You can choose to think before you speak. You can choose to bring love into situations where anger would normally take over. The next time someone frustrates you, take a deep breath. Instead of reacting immediately, pause. Ask yourself, is my response going to bring peace? Or is it going to make things worse? Choose your words carefully. Respond in a way that reflects the person you want to be. When you make love your first response, you'll notice a change, not just in your relationships, but in yourself. You'll feel lighter because you're not carrying the weight of bitterness. You'll sleep better because you're not replaying angry conversations in your mind. You'll experience more peace because you're no longer allowing small offenses to steal your joy. So today, choose love. Choose to be the person who calms storms instead of creating them. Choose to respond in a way that builds others up rather than tearing them down, because when you do, you won't just bring peace to those around you, you'll bring peace to your own life as well. Words have incredible power. They can build people up or they can tear them down. They can heal wounds or they can cause lasting damage. Every word we speak carries weight, shaping the atmosphere around us and influencing the people in our lives. In a world where negativity often comes naturally, choosing to speak words that uplift and encourage is one of the most powerful things we can do. Think about the impact of a kind word. A simple, "I believe in you," can give someone the courage to keep going. A sincere, "You're doing a great job," can boost confidence. A heartfelt, "I appreciate you," can make someone feel valued. On the other hand, negative words spoken in anger, frustration, or carelessness can stay with someone for years. Many people are still carrying the weight of words spoken over them long ago. Words that made them feel like they weren't enough, like they didn't measure up. That's why it's so important to be intentional about the words we choose. The truth is, we don't always realize the effect our words have. We might think a sarcastic comment is harmless, but it could cut deeper than we intended. We might assume someone already knows they're appreciated, but they may be longing to hear it. We might believe our criticism is constructive, but if it's not balanced with encouragement, it can leave someone feeling discouraged. One of the best habits we can develop is looking for opportunities to speak life into others. Instead of focusing on what people are doing wrong, we can point out what they're doing right. Instead of assuming they know how we feel, we can take the time to tell them. Instead of using our words to bring others down, we can use them to lift people up. Encouragement is especially powerful in moments of struggle. When someone is feeling overwhelmed, defeated, or uncertain, a few kind words can make all the difference. Imagine someone on the verge of giving up, feeling like their efforts don't matter. Now imagine what happens when they hear, "You got this, I believe in you, you're making a difference." Suddenly they have the strength to keep going. They feel seen, valued, and capable. That's the power of encouragement. It breathes life into weary souls. But uplifting words aren't just for others. They also shape our own hearts and minds. When we develop a habit of speaking encouragement, we train ourselves to see the good. We become people who look for the best in situations, who focus on solutions instead of problems, who see potential instead of limitations. Over time, this mindset transforms not only our relationships, but also our outlook on life. Think about the people in your life who have encouraged you. Maybe it was a teacher who saw your potential when you didn't see it in yourself. Maybe it was a friend who stood by you when you felt alone. Maybe it was a mentor who pushed you to go after your dreams. Their words left a lasting impact, shaping who you are today. Now imagine the difference you can make by doing the same for others. It doesn't take much effort to be an encourager. It can be as simple as sending a thoughtful text, writing a kind note, or giving a genuine compliment. A few seconds of encouragement can change someone's entire day. But just as positive words have power, negative words do too. Words spoken in frustration, criticism without kindness, or careless remarks can leave wounds that take years to heal. That's why it's so important to be mindful of what we say. Before speaking, ask yourself, will this build someone up or will it tear them down? Will this add to their confidence or will it take away from it? If the words you're about to speak aren't helpful, loving, or necessary, maybe they don't need to be said at all. Even in difficult conversations, we can choose to speak with kindness. There will be times when we need to correct, address issues, or give honest feedback. But even then, we can do it in a way that encourages rather than discourages. Instead of pointing out only what's wrong, we can highlight what's right. Instead of using words that shame, we can use words that inspire growth. This principle applies in every area of life. In families, words of affirmation create a loving environment where children feel secure, spouses feel appreciated, and relationships thrive. In workplaces, a culture of encouragement leads to greater teamwork, motivation, and productivity. In friendships, words of support deepen connections and create trust. Even in everyday interactions with strangers, a kind word can brighten someone's day in ways we may never realize. One of the greatest gifts we can give to the world is to be a voice of encouragement, to be the person who sees the best in others, to be the one who speaks hope into hopeless situations, who reminds people of their worth, who spreads positivity wherever they go. Today, make it your goal to speak words that uplift and encourage. Tell someone you appreciate them. Remind someone of their strengths. Offer words of support to someone who's struggling. Let your words be a source of light in a world that desperately needs it. Because when you do, you won't just change someone else's life, you'll change your own as well. The most powerful way to inspire others to seek peace is to be an example of it ourselves. People learn more from what they see than from what they hear. When they witness someone consistently choosing peace over conflict, kindness over retaliation, and understanding over division, it leaves a lasting impact. Being a peacemaker is not just about what we say, it's about how we live. It's about demonstrating patience in difficult moments, showing grace when it's undeserved, and creating an atmosphere where others feel safe, valued, and respected. Every day we have the opportunity to influence those around us. Whether in our families, workplaces, communities, or friendships, our actions set the tone. If we want to see more peace in the world, we must first cultivate it in our own lives. This means being intentional about how we respond to challenges, disagreements, and frustrations. It means refusing to let negativity dictate our reactions and instead choosing to operate from a place of calm, wisdom, and love. One of the most challenging aspects of leading by example is maintaining peace in the face of adversity. It's easy to be calm when everything is going smoothly, but true character is revealed in moments of difficulty. When someone speaks harshly, do we respond with equal harshness or do we remain composed? When we are treated unfairly, do we seek revenge or do we rise above it? When chaos surrounds us, do we contribute to the disorder or do we become a source of stability? These are the moments that define who we are and what kind of impact we will have on others. A great leader in peace doesn't need a title or a position of authority. Some of the most influential peacemakers are everyday people. Parents setting an example for their children, employees creating a culture of respect in the workplace, friends encouraging reconciliation instead of division. It's about making peace a priority, no matter where we are or who we are with. One way to lead by example is through our reactions. How we respond to challenges, misunderstandings, and offenses teaches others more about our values than any words we could say. If people see us responding to conflict with patience and wisdom, they will take notice. They will see that peace is not just an idea, it's a practice, it's a way of life. Consider a workplace environment where tensions run high. Maybe there's competition, gossip, or unresolved conflicts. It's easy to get drawn into negativity, but one person choosing to remain neutral, speak kindly, and refuse to participate in toxic behavior can shift the atmosphere. Others begin to notice. They see that peace is possible, that there's a different way to handle tension. Over time, this example influences the entire culture, making it a place where people feel safe, valued, and motivated. The same applies in families. Many homes are filled with stress, disagreements, and strained relationships, but when one person chooses to be a peacemaker, it can change everything. It starts with small choices, choosing to listen instead of argue, choosing to be patient instead of irritated, choosing to forgive instead of holding on to resentment. Over time, this example creates an environment where love and understanding thrive. Even in friendships, leading by example and peace can make a profound difference. When disagreements arise, it's a temptation to take sides, to fuel the fire, to say things that make conflicts worse. But a true friend chooses a different path. They encourage unity, remind others of what truly matters, and refuse to engage in unnecessary drama. They set a tone of respect and remind those around them that relationships are more important than winning an argument. Another important aspect of leading by example is demonstrating humility. Many conflicts arise from pride, the need to be right, to prove a point, to have the last word. But a true peacemaker is willing to step back, to listen, to acknowledge when they are wrong. They don't see peace as a weakness, but as a strength. They understand that sometimes the best way to resolve conflict is not by overpowering others, but by seeking to understand them. Leading by example also means showing consistency. It's not enough to promote peace in some situations and abandon it in others. True peace is a lifestyle. It means practicing patience even when we're tired, choosing kindness even when it's inconvenient, and remaining calm even when we have every reason to be frustrated. When people see that our commitment to peace isn't just for show, but something we live by every day, they are more likely to be influenced by it. In a world filled with division, those who lead by example in peace stand out. They become a source of light in darkness, a voice of calm in chaos, a reminder that there is always another way. Their presence alone brings comfort to those around them, and their influence extends far beyond what they can see. It's easy to complain about the lack of peace in the world. It's easy to point out what's wrong, to criticize those who create conflict, to wish that others would change. But real change starts with us. It starts with the way we choose to live, with the example we set, with the way we treat others, even in the smallest interactions. Every time we choose patience over frustration, we are leading by example. Every time we choose to listen instead of argue, we are making a difference. Every time we choose to be the bigger person, to let go of offenses, to bring people together instead of pushing them apart, we are creating a ripple effect of peace. The truth is, people are always watching. Our children, our co-workers, our friends, even strangers we interact with. Our actions speak louder than our words. When we live as peacemakers, we show others that peace is possible. We give them permission to do the same. We create a world where kindness is valued, where understanding is prioritized, where love wins over division. So today, make the decision to lead by example. Be the one who refuses to engage in negativity. Be the one who speaks with kindness even when others don't. Be the one who forgives quickly, who listens patiently, who brings people together instead of driving them apart. Because when you do, you won't just promote peace in your own life, you'll inspire others to do the same. And that's how real change begins. In a world filled with division, misunderstanding, and conflict, being a peacemaker is one of the most powerful choices we can make. It's not always the easiest path, but it is the most rewarding. It's about making a daily decision to seek unity instead of division, to respond with love instead of anger, to speak words that uplift rather than tear down, and to lead by example in promoting peace. True peace doesn't happen by accident. It is cultivated through intentional actions, through the way we treat others, and through the choices we make in every interaction. When we choose to extend grace, to listen with understanding, to bring calm instead of chaos, we create ripples of change that go far beyond what we can see. Being a peacemaker isn't about ignoring problems or avoiding difficult conversations. It's about handling challenges with wisdom, patience, and a heart that seeks reconciliation rather than destruction. It's about setting a tone of respect and kindness in our homes, workplaces, friendships, and community. It's about making a difference not by force, but by the quiet power of love. Each of us has the ability to be a source of peace in the lives of others. Whether through small acts of kindness, words of encouragement, or simply choosing to remain calm in difficult moments, we can transform the atmosphere around us. We can be the ones who bring light into dark situations, who mend broken relationships, who show others that there is always another way. So today, make the decision to be a peacemaker. Choose to be the person who speaks with kindness, who listens with compassion, who forgives quickly, and who stands as an example of love in action. Because when you do, you won't just change your own life. You'll change the lives of those around you. And together, we can create a world where peace is not just a dream, but a reality.